Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Men of Order Sports channel. I got next. As you can see, I'm by myself today. Everyone else is MIA. They did not want to go through the hell of finding some good bets to take in this game between the Tennessee Titans and the Green Bay Packers. Um, a couple weeks ago, I outright banned the entire Packers offense because I was just tired of betting on them, tired of losing slips based on Packers offensive players and them not performing, them not calling a good game script, all those issues, right? And the NFL was like, all right, well, good luck doing that when we're going to give you the Titans and the Packers for a primetime Thursday night game. So I got a couple plays for the Packers here. I had no choice really because there's only one guy that wasn't banned on the entire Titans offense, and that's Derrick Henry. So I didn't want to just talk about Derrick Henry for the next 10 minutes. So I got a couple Packers plays in that I do like, though. I'm not just throwing them out there just to throw them out there, but I am putting the Green Bay Packers offensive ban on pause for at least this week. They did have a good showing last week. Chad was all over that. We were all over that on this channel. Them upsetting the Cowboys, and things looked to be promising for the Packers going forward. But I need to see that more often, more consistently before I really start taking bets at them. I got 2 half-unit bets that involve the Packers today. But Chad did want everybody to know, even though he's not here, he wanted me to let everyone know that his dog catcher model is on the Titans today. Now, they're not a very impressive 6-3 straight up. The Packers are a very unimpressive 4-6 straight up. The one thing the Titans have going for them, though, for sure, is that they're 7-2 against the spread and actually have covered the spread in 7 consecutive games, the longest active streak in the NFL. The Packers, on the other hand, are 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 games that they've been favored in. And they're giving us an extra half point here. If this was Packers 2.5 or Packers 3, I'd probably be leaning to the Packers side. The model takes the Titans at plus 3.5. I think I would side with the Titans. That's a lean, though, not an official pick. But I do think I like the Titans. I think this is going to be a 3-point game. So at that point, take the Titans. That would be my 2 cents if I had to pick a side. But Chad did also want to say that he is riding his tinfoil Kofi theory with the Packers and them, actually getting it together. It worked last week against the Cowboys. Hopefully it works for Chad again tonight. He is riding with the Packers and Aaron Rodgers and that offense staying hot. Mostly because Aaron Rodgers needs to, they need to keep him doing well in order to market him and make him a profitable asset to the NFL. That's pretty much where Chad's going. That's why he had them over the Cowboys. It was pretty much do or die for Aaron Rodgers' season, possibly career. We don't know. With that up in the air, Chad was like, all right, Packers got to win this big game against the Cowboys. Now we got prime time here. Chad's riding with the Packers. I would lean on the Titans side in covering. Maybe the Packers win, but I see maybe a 24-21, 27-24 type of that me on the over two. If those are the scores I'm throwing out, it is a pretty low over under, but I don't know if I'm confident enough. We got some weather issues potentially. It is supposed to be freezing at Lambeau Field and very windy, not super windy though. And there was rumors of snow, but I think the snow should be passed and cleared by the time they're kicking off tonight at Lambeau Field. But because of those possible concerns, I'm taking an Aaron Rodgers prop here, but I'm only putting a half unit on it. I do like the play. It's just the concerns of the weather. If it ends up being a run-heavy game, then this bet is probably not going to hit. But without further ado, I got Aaron Rodgers over 1.5 passing touchdowns, minus 104 on Caesars. Like I said, that is a half unit play for me. Monitoring the weather situation, but I don't think it'll cause too much of a problem. I think this bet does hit. He has cashed this in 7 out of 9 games this season, despite how bad it's looked. He's cashing this at least. And also 7 of his last 8. He missed the first week against the Vikings. But since then, 7 of his last 8 games, he's hit this. He's also cashing 4 out of 5 home games. The only miss at home was that game against the Jets where things just got away from them really quickly, really early. And it just was not a good showing from the Packers, which we've seen before. But they seem to have maybe corrected the tide last week against the Cowboys. So I'm going to ride him here on this matchup. Also, the Titans' run defense is very good. That's probably their strongest unit as a whole for that entire team is their defense, their run defense. So I think the Packers might have to get away from that and rely on Aaron Rodgers to sling the rock a little bit. which wouldn't be a bad thing for the Packers. They can definitely do it. He's averaging 2 per home game, which is all we need him to get here tonight. The Titans allow 84% of their touchdowns that they allow through the air. So that's a huge in our favor in this case. Instead of the Packers running the ball in when they get down close, passing the ball has had a lot of success in terms of getting into the end zone against the Titans all season long. Every team's using it. This bet has only cashed in 5 out of 9 games versus the Titans, but 3 of those 4 misses were games where the opponent only scored 1 touchdown. And then the other one was Patty Mahomes only getting 1 a couple weeks ago, which was just a surprise. You know what I mean? That is some pause for concern if Patty couldn't do it. But realistically, he could have. He just ran one in instead of throwing it. That easily could have hit on that exact play if he didn't run it in. So I do still like this play. I think it'll hit. The Packers finally found some rhythm, like we've been talking about pretty much all show so far. The weapons for Aaron Rodgers are a little healthier. Allen Lazard is a little healthier this week, should be at least. And the Titans allow the most big plays to receivers in the entire NFL. Rodgers touchdowns thrive on the long bomb. And despite all that, not despite all that, but including this, there's a lot of Titans defense on that injury report. A lot of guys in general, but a lot on the defense. I counted 10 defensive players on the injury report as of a couple of hours ago. 5 were listed out. And that's not even including like the guys that got hurt before Monday. Like this week's injury report has 10 defensive players on it. Star-studded players also. Bud Dupree and Amani Hooker are also out. And I think Hooker's backup is also out, actually, the backup corner too. So a lot of guys on the injury report, a lot of guys out or questionable or probable, but still banged up. So I like Aaron Rodgers to maybe torch that secondary just a little bit if the weather allows him to, at least. Hopefully we don't get any snow. I don't think we will, but I would maybe think about waiting to put this bet in until we know for sure, just in case. But I'm pretty confident. I'm going to throw my half unit on that. I already took it, actually. Aaron Jones is the next one. Now, this is actually the bet. Aaron Jones rushing attempts and a touchdown was the bet that made us completely suspend the Packers offense. So I'm going back to the well, though, on this one. I'm giving them one last chance, and the NFL really didn't give me a choice. Like I said, I wasn't going to come up here and give you 4 Derrick Henry bets because I don't think there's 4 Derrick Henry bets on the board that hit because they got his numbers juiced up anyway. But that's neither here nor there. We got Aaron Jones for over 13.5 rushing attempts, minus 110 on DraftKings and BetMGM. I'm also going a half unit on this. So only one total unit on the Packers offense. All right, guys. If they fail us, I'll eat a unit. It's all good. We're up like 40 units in the past 3 weeks on this channel. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. And when you're done here, also go check out our early picks show, which will be right about there. Me and Chad do our early pick show. We talked about the 49ers and Cardinals game in Mexico. We talked about the Cowboys and Vikings game. We talked about the Bears and Falcons game, the Bengals and Steelers, as well as the Jets and Patriots. Did about 20 minutes covering all of those games. So make sure you go check that out as well. When you're done here, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and leave a comment if you like my picks. Leave a comment if you hate my picks. If you're fading me, let me know so I can clown you after the game when my bets hit. But no, all seriousness, let me know, man, because I'm good with the friendly banter. Let's talk in the comments. We'll talk out some bets. Drop a comment, drop some likes, share it with your friends, and let's all eat. Let's get back into Aaron Jones real quick, though. So they got him 24 carries last week, and they won. They won a meaningful game because they got him the rock. I've been saying it for weeks now that's what the Packers need to do. Let Aaron Rodgers get a chance to execute some play action that actually works because there's a threat of a run. You have Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon in that backfield. Let them eat. Give them the rock. This isn't the day to necessarily do that on that strategy because the Titans' run defense is second, but I think it would be smart for the Packers to just continuously feed Aaron Jones, even if it's not working as well as they would like, just because you gotta at least have that threat so that Aaron Rodgers can open the field up downfield. He's only hit this in 4 games so far, but he's hit this in 2 out of the last 3 games. And this isn't a game where I see the Packers getting down by a lot to the Titans here. So they should be able to sustain a balanced offensive attack throughout the entire game. So that's why I like this play. Now, you knew it was coming. You knew we were going to have to flip to the Titans side of the ball at some point today, and that means Derrick Henry pretty much. I'm not personally putting any of my money or telling you guys to put your money behind anything on this Titans offense that doesn't involve Derrick Henry. So, I mean, that's just me. That's a word of advice for me. There's, the Westbrook, Treylon Burks. There's some tight ends there in the mix. Like, obviously, they can have a day. A couple of them have had days in the past couple of weeks. But one thing that's consistent for the most part is Derrick Henry so far. I'm taking him for over 17 and a half for his longest run, minus 122 on FanDuel. I'm putting a full unit on that one. Only half unit plays on the Packers plays, but a full unit play for Derrick Henry. Green Bay's defense, their rush defense, terrible, terrible. Henry should probably torch them for like 120, 140 yards. I'm just not being as bold tonight as I was in that game versus the Texans where he did do that. I'm going to go with keeping it simple instead of going for 100 yards. I think he probably hits that. His yardage might make the same game parlay that I drop on Twitter later on tonight. But for right now, we're going with an 18-yard run from Derrick Henry. Very doable. Not asking for a ton from Derrick Henry. Green Bay's defense is 26th in rushing yards allowed and 28th in yards per carry allowed. This is cash for Derrick Henry in 6 out of 9 games. The 3 misses were Buffalo, Washington, and Denver. All 3 of those are top 13 rush defenses in terms of rushing yards allowed. So I'm not too thrown off by the fact they didn't hit that against this Packers defense. It's a much better matchup. Green Bay is bottom 6 in both yards allowed per game and yards allowed per carry, like I just said. So it doesn't worry me that he didn't hit this against Buffalo, Washington, and Denver. The other 6 games he has. Primetime King Henry, real quick, shout out to Big Mike Raider. He dropped this stat across my desk earlier this morning. In 11 Thursday Night Football and Monday Night Football games, King Henry has been averaging 5.6 yards per carry and has 12 touchdowns in those 11 games. He can easily break a long one against this Packers defense, so I'm taking that. Versus the Packers, this bet for opposing runners has hit in 5 out of 10 games, but it was within 2 yards or hit in 8 out of 10. So there's 3 other situations where there was 17, 17, 16. So it's been within 2 yards or cashing in 8 out of 10 games versus the Packers. 7 running backs in 10 games have cashed this against the Packers, as well as Josh Allen. So King Henry can definitely take this. We got Dalvin Cook for 16. David Montgomery had 28. Khalil Herbert had 27 in the same game. Ramondre Stevenson was a 17-yarder. Saquon Barkley hit a 40-yarder. Breece Hall hit a 34-yarder. Brian Robinson hit a 24-yarder in the same game. Antonio Gibson hit a 20-yarder. Devin Singletary hit a 30-yarder in the same game. Josh Allen hit a 20-yarder. And then Malik Davis hit a 17-yarder also. So like I said, they're all right around there. The only games that like nobody even came close was the Buccaneers, which we're not expecting anything from. And I forget the second game, but it was another game that, we're not expecting much from that running offense anyway. But especially the Bucs, I'm not worried that nobody had a long run against the Bucs. We didn't see the Bucs do anything in the run game until they went to Germany and played the Seahawks over the weekend. The last straight play that I have here is Derrick Henry for 2+ touchdowns. We've been talking about him this entire show. Somebody's got to score for the Titans, right? So I'm going Derrick Henry 2 touchdowns. The last time he had 0 touchdowns in a game, he scored 2 each in 2 straight games after that. So we're going to ride Derrick Henry coming off of a no touchdown game against this terrible, terrible Packers defense, or terrible run defense. I'm a little bit, but terrible run defense for the Packers here. I'm putting 1 unit on that at plus 380 on FanDuel. So that's just a big bankroll builder if that hits. So we're risking a total of 3 units. Only 1 unit on the Packers offense. Don't worry, guys. But in all seriousness, I am rooting for the Packers to, continue their little turnaround here. I do want them to be a successful team. I do want to start betting on them a little bit more. I was going to take unders on Christian Watkins receptions, but his over is juiced up so high that the under is actually way juiced the wrong way, the way that we do not want it to be. So I stayed away there, or else that would have been one of my picks. I do like the Aaron Jones getting the rock. I think they should give him the rock. They should feed him. It clearly worked. It clearly opened up some lanes for Aaron Rodgers downfield in that Cowboys game. So you got to do that, man. You got to at this point. Go back to it. And then Aaron Rodgers, if that does happen and the lanes do open up downfield, Aaron Rodgers for 2 touchdowns. That's how the Titans allow their touchdowns, is through the air, not on the run. So I like that play. The only pause for concern with Derrick Henry scoring 2 touchdowns would be the fact that, yes, the Titans are first in red zone touchdown percentage. That's because they have King Henry. They can just give the ball to Derrick Henry 3 times in a row when they're on a first and goal, second and goal, third and goal, even fourth and goal if they want to. And he's going to punch that in eventually. Like, you're only stopping him 3 or 4 times. You're not going to keep stopping him. So they're first in red zone touchdown percentage. They score 76.2% of the time. But Green Bay's defense is really good in the red zone also. They are the 8th best in the league. They only allow a touchdown 51.7% of the time. So the Titans might have to get a little bit creative. This would hurt our Derrick Henry 2 touchdowns if they have to go play action with him in the red zone or something like that. But we have our risk-free BetMGM first touchdown scorer like they do every Thursday. I'm using that on Austin Hooper today. Shout out to Big Mike Rader because he was the one who me and him were talking about Austin Hooper for a while this morning, and ultimately I decided that this was a good play here. It's plus 2,000 on BetMGM for the risk-free bet, the 2-for-1 deal pretty much. You can get plus 3,000 on DraftKings if you're not using the risk-free 2-for-1 on this, or if you're not, using BetMGM at all anyway. Plus 3,000, way better value on DraftKings, but I have to go with the plus 2,000 on BetMGM because it's risk-free. They're going to give me a free bet if this doesn't hit, and we're going to use that again on this channel on either sometime throughout the NFL Sunday slate or for the Monday night game for a first touchdown bet. So I like this because they might have to get creative down on the goal line. They might have to do a little play action to Derrick Henry, and Austin Hooper sneaks away for the first touchdown of the game, plus 2,000. Give me that all day. This is going to be a huge, huge unit casher for us if it hits. Obviously I could go with Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon. What other options do we really have in this matchup? So I just decided we might as well go for the big play, the home run shot right here, Austin Hooper. And I think I laid out a pretty solid narrative for why that could hit. So we shall see. Obviously, we're just taking a flyer on this one. We're taking a risk. We're throwing it out there. It's a 2-for-1 deal. I'll take that any day, especially on a bigger value play. That's why I didn't want to waste it on Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry or Aaron Jones might just run right down the field, score a touchdown, and this bet doesn't hit. But if it is Derrick Henry, at least we got one down out of the 2 we need for this plus 380 play. So I'm going to take my chances there. And like I said, I'm riding a big cash out here for Austin Hooper. Hopefully he gets that done for us. That would be huge. Other than that, the only thing left that I have for you is a same game parlay, which I will be dropping on my Twitter later on. I just want to monitor this weather a little bit, see how this game is going to go before I throw down this same game parlay. I bet you that Derrick Henry rushing yards is probably going to be a part of that. Depending on what it's looking like out at Lambeau Field closer to game time, I might throw Aaron Jones in the loop there. But we shall see. I'm gonna post that by 7:30, so you guys have plenty of time to get it in before the game starts. But make sure you're following me on Twitter. The link is in the description box. It is also at itsag400 in case you want to just go type it in real quick. Other than that, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're showing your friends, showing your family about this if they are betting as well. You don't want to bet on sports without checking here first. We have been on some of the biggest upsets of the entire NFL season so far, cashing out parlays left and right, cashing out these straight bets. We're up 40 units in the past 3-4 weeks since we started officially tracking how many units we're throwing on all of our recommendations and the results. So the number would be a lot bigger if we were doing that the whole season. But we were new to this at the time, and so next season we'll have like a full, NFL season's worth of tracked numbers. But I mean, 4 weeks and 40 units profit ain't bad at all. We'll take it. The number's probably way higher, but that's when we officially started tracking. So we're not just going to come out here and make up some lies. Follow me on Twitter at itsag400. Keep tuning in. We got the Cowboys-Vikings game. I'm going to do a special with a Cowboys fan, my boy Mike. He's been on the channel before. He hit a couple bets when we did a Cowboys game earlier in the season. And then we got Big Mike Rader coming on for the Raiders game, probably a couple other. We'll probably get John Ryan on throughout the week at some point to talk about some of these other games this weekend. And then Monday Night Football as well as our Sunday show. Make sure you're here for that Sunday show, man. Me and Chad, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. We're live talking to the chat. Talk about bets, give us your favorite touchdown score of the day. We cook up parlays and we just cash out, man. Everybody eats, trying to make everybody some money. Hit that subscribe button. I know I said it a million times, but we do everything free here, man. So we're just trying to rack that number up. And once that number is racked up to a certain amount, then we can start getting some fruits for our labor. And that's what it's all about. Other than that, happy betting today. Best of luck, everybody. Let's cash out. Peace.